am joined by Ollie Richardson for the UK Drum Show official podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thanks. Recovering from a recent tour of the States. I think I'm coming down with something as soon, like literally today. So the
No, no.
byproduct of a very busy schedule, I think. But yeah, I'm
Can
excited to be here regardless.
can you be not unwell for the next 20 minutes? And then after that, you can recover and we will then see you in September.
Done.
um, Dude, firstly, congratulations with all your success. You have just done so well and so much over, the last, I guess, 20 years now. It's kind of coming up to that point for you. Um,
Very depressing.
from playing all around the world, from festivals to headline shows, I want to break the ice by asking what has been the biggest Spinal Tap moment in your career so far?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like as I guess getting over to the States for us, like, I had my first tour of America last year, which has been a long time coming. You know, we've had fans over there for the last sort of decade. Like, really, that's when the opportunities have been sort of coming in, and nothing really lined up. So being able to go out there and, playing sort of Times Square in New York and stuff, and
Mhm,
we've had a couple of big shows out in Japan.
mhm.
Loud Park Festival was like 15,000 people or something. This arena indoors.
Wow.
I think probably some of those moments I would class as proper sort of pinch yourself. It's very easy to forget, a band in our genre, and as busy as I am between both bands, it's quite easy to forget what it is we're doing sometimes, And I think every now and again something comes along, we go, oh shit, that's we're doing something here, and you get a nice sort of you get to take a step back and take it in. So I'd
Yeah.
probably say, yeah, like recent tours of the States and anything sort of far and wide for us being a band or coming from just outside Glasgow in Scotland, when you get further away from home
Yes.
and you take a step back and you look at an audience, that's when you kind of say, shit, something's
Yeah.
happening.
Well, your career, from what I understand, as a drummer and obviously in the band, it started playing a local youth centre, just covering Lamb of God tracks. That's my understanding as to, what I read, and you've gone from that to massive shows. I mean, at what point did you realise this is actually becoming a full-time gig? This is becoming a successful business. When did that happen?
Uh, to be honest, I don't think you're ever. I mean, the way that I view it and what keeps me hungry and moving forward is you're never quite there. Do you know what I mean? I think there's always, as soon as you achieve something, there's something else that presents itself. So um, I think, when we started, we were playing gigs in Hamilton, but then we played gigs in Glasgow, and that was playing gigs in the city, and then you would play Edinburgh, and that was the next city, and then you would play
Yes.
Manchester, then Birmingham, then London, then Belgium, Netherlands, Germany.
Yeah.
There was always one thing after another. So I think it's important to sort of view that one step at a time to help keep yourself grounded moving forward, and just one foot in
Mhm.
front of the other. But yeah, honestly, I'd say that as soon as we sort of started playing out with our town, that's when things sort of started to, that's when we put the foot on the gas, and we haven't taken it off for the last 20 years.
I can't believe it's been 20 years. I
Neither
can't
can I,
believe it.
honestly.
I can't believe
I,
it.
I say that now, and it's
It's scary.
yeah, pretty scary.
um, Ali, how does it feel for you to be so recognized within the drumming community that you are playing the main stage of the UK Drum Show, which is arguably the most or one of the most prestigious weekend of drums in the world? How does it feel for you to be doing this?
Yeah, I made an Instagram post about this when I got asked to do it. It was Minor Symbols gave me the opportunity. I've done like a handful of clinics in the past, and I always wanted to. I feel very honoured and privileged to be asked. I understand it's the companies put you forward for this, and I've aligned myself with some great companies over the years, and
Mhm.
I'm very grateful for their support. But yeah, getting put forward for the main stage, I've been a fan of drums for since I was 12, 10 or 12 years old, and I've been to so many of these events, and it was always the main stage, kind of looking at that and be like, I'd love to be able to be up there one day and represent the
Mm.
genre I'm so passionate about. And yeah, I've been asked to be up there now is truly an honor, and I feel like I'm at a good space now. I'm always so nervous before these events. It's completely
Really?
different to a game. I don't think anyone appreciates unless you've done it yourself. To get up there in front of a room full of drummers and you can't hide behind your guitar players or your singer.
No, no.
I appreciate it's a big ask to be done, but I love the challenge, and having done a few in the past now, I feel like I'm kind of ready to go up there and
I can't
uh,
wait.
just have fun with it. You know what I mean? It's fun to shine a light on a genre, and you get up there and you've usually got one of the bigger drum kits of the day, and you're just playing fast and loud, and it's usually a good time for people who don't know the genre too much. And plus, it's one of the first things on a Sunday morning, so any cobwebs will be getting
Yeah.
quickly blast beated away.
It is. It's 11:15 a.m. on the Sunday, the 29th of September. And yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing how the hell you do what you do on the double kicks from the side of the stage. That's gonna be like where I'm at when I'm watching you. Um, talking of what you're going to be doing at that event, um, obviously, what we're doing on the podcast is we are chatting to all the drummers that are playing the main stage at
Mhm.
September's event. And what I'd love to know from you, Ali, is what are you going to be bringing to the table that might be slightly different to other drummers? To give you some examples of previous answers, Nick Collins said that he's going to try and make it quite interactive and get the audience involved, asking some questions. Lena Anderberg was quite mysterious with her answer. She didn't want to give too much away. Jay from Tesseract said he's going to be breaking down those difficult time signature changes.
Of course it is.
Chris Coleman said he hopes he just turns up. So from your perspective, and with those answers, what do you think you're going to be doing that might be a little bit different from the rest?
Similar to Chris, I hope I make it to that point of the year, given my schedule. I'll be grateful if I arrive in Liverpool in one piece. But honestly, similar to I think you said Nick as well. Like every time I've done a clinic in the past, I've left my questions to the very end,
Yeah,
and I
sure.
feel like I've said it previously in this interview, but it's a genre that's maybe not so much now. I feel like there's more of a light on the kind of alternative scene, but maybe underrepresented. And I really want to kind of open up the floor to any questions that people might have about double kick or power or
Yes.
intensity or how we approach the parts. And that's really what I'm taking into it now is, take sections of the song and show people how I would approach this as a metal drummer as opposed to,
Mhm.
what somebody else might put to it and how I put to it. And then really just open up the floor. I'll probably have 2 or 3 sections where people are just able to ask questions. So if there's anyone listening, please bring all your questions, no matter how daft. I'm just really looking forward to that back and forth and interacting with the audience about the genre and stuff like that.
I think it's going to be incredible, man. You've Bleed from Within have been a powerhouse of a band for as we said, nearly 20 years. You guys just seem to, with every release, you're going from strength to strength, and I can only commend you guys as musicians. You are absolutely fantastic players. From a
Thank you very
drumming
much.
perspective, you're welcome. Call it a tenor. From a drumming perspective, who would you say are your top three drummers of all time? Players that you keep going back to that work, you keep dissecting, albums from whether it's years ago or more recent stuff. Who are you really loving these days?
Um, so I actually just did an Instagram Q&A about this, and somebody asked a very similar question. So I've got the answer ready to go. But
Hey,
yeah,
cool.
whenever I'm asked this, I mean, I used to play clarinet before I moved to drums, and I slowly started getting into alternative music, yeah, heavy metal and stuff. And the light switch moment for me was Vinnie Paul Pantera. The album was Vulgar Display of Power. The
Mhm.
song is track 4. I won't say the first word, but the second word is hostile. And it's that was really the moment for me that changed. I went to the shop and bought a set of drumsticks that day and a practice pad,
Wow.
and that was it for me. So Vinny and Pantera had a massive. They kind of shaped the player that I am today.
Wow.
Um, and then really, it's hard to pinpoint the other two. I think it's kind of an amalgamation of Mario Duplantier from Gojira, his
Yeah.
power and finesse and his flair,
Hmm.
really kind of elevated on what I'd learned from Vinny, and then players like Danny Carey, Jose
Oh,
Casale, Incubus. The early sort of Lamb of God albums with Chris Adler, his playing was so
mhm.
technical and so tight, that really influenced what I was doing. Yeah,
You're
Randy like
playing
Mastodon.
your playing definitely reminds me of Chris Adler's approach. And I almost feel like that watching you in September is going to be super similar to watching Chris Adler's 2005 Modern Drummer performance.
Modern Drummer thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that was just incredible. When I heard you were going to be doing this, that was where my mindset went straight away.
amazing. I mean, I have to give special mention to Eloy Casagrande as well as just a sort of leader, and he's the sort of face of the metal drumming thing at the moment, man. There's no one better. He's got power, he's got groove, he's got technicality, and I was lucky enough to meet him last year, and we've exchanged some messages on Instagram and stuff, and we sat and had some whiskies at Summer Breeze Festival, and
Nice.
we are going on tour with Slipknot at the end of the year, and he's now Slipknot's drummer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But he's just one hell of a player, and definitely I just love seeing people at the top of their game, which is another reason
Yes.
why I love the drum shows. You just get to take it in for a day and just remind yourself why you love the instrument. But people that just have that much respect and talent on the kit is
Hmm.
just what inspires me and what gets me going. Do you know what I mean?
I
I love.
totally agree. I mean, one of the biggest differences that I notice about drummers is their ability and desire to communicate their ideas with other drummers. I've been to like guitar clinics and stuff in the past, and it's almost like I feel like sometimes guitarists kind of like keep their notes to themselves. They don't want to show anything off, but drummers are like, yeah, listen to this. Yeah, shall we go for a beer after? Yeah, like that drummers' personalities. They're just such extroverts, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, even if they're not, I've stolen so many fills from some of my favorite drummers over the years. Do you know what I mean? I think when you talk to other drummers about that, and I'll be like, I stole this from you, this bit, and they're like, that's so funny because I took it from this guy, and you're like,
Yeah.
brilliant. It just kind of, I love when you find out all these little bits of the sort of little nuggets, the wee things that drummers are learning from each other, and that I've never had formal teaching in any way, and I
No.
can sort of single-handedly thank every single drummer that I've toured with. I've stood at the side of the stage and I've properly watched what it is that they're doing. I'm taking it in and I'm learning everything from sort of the posture, how hard they're hitting,
Mhm.
how they're interacting with an audience.
Yes.
uh, I'm always watching.
Um, you're in the driving seat for inspiring the next generation of metal drummers, Ali, and I
I
don't
really
think
hope
there's
so.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Um, the UK drum show, as you probably know, it caters for drummers from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, and all different musical influences. What would your advice be to a drummer of any age? Whether they're sort of like a kid or right up until they're an advanced and mature player themselves. What would your advice be to get a drummer to climb the ladder to success in the way that you have, not only within your band but as a drummer yourself?
It sounds really corny, but I say this all the time. I used to teach a bit back in the day, and my one bit of advice, I mean, I know it more so now than I even did back then, is just like don't stop, and that's
Hmm.
that's purely it. If you're going to be in this for anything, if you're chasing it for success, or if you're looking for something superficial, it's not going to be there. You have to want it, And I found that in me, I'm constantly wanting to improve, better myself in the instrument, learn from others, be inspired by others, and never carry that ego around with you. Just be
Hmm.
humble, and learn what you can. But ultimately, that's fueled by a desire to. I'm
Hmm.
not going to stop. Yeah, I'm going to keep going until I can be the best that I can possibly be. And that's the ultimate driving force.
Amazing.
Um, no one can take that away from you if you've got that unwavering belief in yourself and just a desire to keep going. I'll do it until I physically cannot.
Amazing. Um, Dude, um, I can't wait to see your performance. Once again, Ali will be playing the main stage on Sunday, the 29th of September at 11:15. I can't wait to see you play, what you bring to the table. I can't wait for it's going to be like the best alarm clock for a Sunday morning I think anybody has ever had. And thank you for joining me. And we will see you in September.
Thank you very much for having me, Ollie. I'll see you then.